going on? What's happening? What's happening? Hey, Ryan Loede here, coming to you live from the Ohio headquarters of LC Financial Group, where we're hiring, looking for great people, looking for exceptional people who want to blow up their lives, as well as helping other individuals blow up their lives as well. If you don't know me, take full responsibility. My name is Ryan Loede, building a 9-figure insurance agency and helping everyday Americans create a multiple 6-figure residual income within their first year here at LC Financial Group, where we are a community of highly committed and highly competent individuals who hold each other accountable to high standards of living, our core values: ethical, accountable, and coachable. So hey, if you want to learn more about what partnering with us here at LC Financial Group would look like, DM me, comment below, or reach out to any of our partners here at LC Financial Group. Now, I'm going to talk about time today. Time, right? Time is money. As they always say, time is money. Yet so many people tend to spend their time and waste their time instead of investing their time. Because we all have the same 24 hours. We all have the same amount of time to get done what we need to get done. And the way in which we effectively use our time will determine how much we get done with our time. It will determine the results and the outcomes that we achieve with our time. So the main focus is, how can we go from trading time for money to now being able to trade money for time? How can we multiply our time? How can we make sure that we're getting as much as we can get done in the time that we have, so we can spend more time, whether it's with our loved ones, doing what we want, having great experiences in life, being able to travel, go on vacation, right? This is what we're all striving for. And that's what, in my opinion, my personal opinion, like, financial freedom means, hey, I have money that I can trade for time. And also, most importantly, we want to go from making more money because of our time, and we want to go from that to being able to create more money because of our money. Now, if you don't have time, you're not investing the money. And if you don't have money, you're not investing the time. So let's talk a little bit about time. I got 5 valuable tips regarding time. It's helped me create the success that I have. It's helped a lot of our partners here at LC Financial Group create the success that they have as well. So I wanted to share it with you guys, and hopefully you find this valuable enough to share it with other individuals, to like it, give me a thumbs up, comment below what you learned from this, what you're going to execute from listening to this message that I'm bringing to you guys. And hopefully it's going to make your life better, as that is my main goal and purpose with all the messages that I bring to you guys, all the teachings, all the lessons, and all the information and data that I bring to you guys, is to most importantly be able to execute on it and apply it in your life so you can create a better life, not just for yourself, but for also other individuals in your life as well. So 5 valuable tips regarding time. Time is money. The way in which we use our time will determine the results that we get. The way in which we effectively use our time will determine how much we get done with the time that we have, right? So making sure that we're using our time as effectively as we can. And when we're not using our time as effectively as we can, hey, we need to become aware of it. And we need to immediately go from, wow, I'm not using my time effectively, to switching and flipping the switch to, okay, now I'm using my time as effectively as I can. Because there's been many times in my life where I feel like I'm using my time effectively. It feels like I'm being productive, but I'm really not. And within these 5 tips I'm going to share with you, you're going to realize why you might not be using your time as effectively as you could be, why you're not getting the results with the time that you're using, right? So number one thing with time is that, hey, we want to focus on creating time. Creating time. Now, there's 3 levels of time. There's 3 subcategories of time. Either number 1, we're going to use our time. Number 2, we're going to manage our time. Or number 3, we are going to create more time. And how do we create more time? It's by doing more with the time that we have. It's by taking high levels of action with the time that we have, so we can ultimately create more time. We add more to the plate. We have more activities to do. We have these goals and targets in the time that we have, so we can create more results and get more done with the time that we have. So for me personally, when I was specifically working in the business, in the insurance industry for the first 3-4 years of my career, I was all final expense. And I was taking massive amounts of unreasonable actions on a daily basis. I was creating time because of the speed at which I moved. I was creating time because of the ability to go from one task to another. And this is how you're going to create more time as well. It's by going from one task to another with no interruption in between each task. Because what happens essentially is you have these goals and targets on a daily basis. You have these things that you need to do on a daily basis. You knock one out and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna check my phone. Oh, I'm gonna take lunch. I'm gonna just not continue to work. Whereas like, hey, the highly successful, they're going from one task to another with no interruption in between task to task. And that's how they're creating time, because they get so much more done with the time that they have. So for example, I was riding my bike the other day at this park here. First time in the past 5 years. I was riding my bike and I'm like thinking like, man, how do I get more done in 2 hours than I can get done in 4 hours? All I did was like, I was just literally activity to activity to activity. I was literally had no breaks. I was literally just so focused on like, man, I'm trying to create more time. I'm not trying to spend more time here than I have to. And that's how you're going to create more time. It's like being laser focused, by having intentional laser focus on what you are doing. The more intentional you are with what you're doing, the more you're going to be able to create more time. The more that you are focused on each specific task, your mind's not wandering around. Your mind is just focused on what you are doing. That's how you're going to create more time, because you're going to get more done with what you're doing because you're intentionally focused. So there's 3 subcategories of time. As I said, number 1, we're going to create time. Number 2, we're going to manage time. Or number 3, we're going to use time. So we have create, we have manage, and we have use. Now, which one sounds most valuable? Which one's going to allow us to create the life that we desire, allow us to get more results? It's obviously number 1, create time. Our ability to create time will determine our ability to get more results, right? So we want to be focused on creating time. Managing time, we don't want to manage time. We don't want to be like, oh man, I got, this, that, and the other. Like, no, like have your task laid out and just go at them relentlessly, massive amounts of action. You're going to get more done. You're going to get more results, and you're going to see that you've created time. And this is what our main focus on should be when we're creating time. It's by doing more with the time that we have. Instead of taking 2 hours to complete something, take 1 hour. Hey, you have a task to complete 30 calls. 30 calls, just don't even hang up the phone. Just keep calling one by one by one by one. Like, just keep making the calls. Because, hey, you can get 30 calls done in 30 minutes, whereas some people are going to get 30 calls done in an entire hour, maybe even an hour and a half. Because they make a call and then they're evaluating the call, they're checking their phone, they're taking a bathroom break, whatever it might be, and then it takes an hour, it takes an hour and a half. So we want to be focused on compressing time. We want to be focused on attacking our time with speed, with massive amounts of speed. So focus on creating time, don't focus on managing time, and don't even focus on using time. So that's the number 1 valuable tip on time. It's creating time. It's by getting more done with the time that we have. Number two, it's the 24 hours. 24 hours. 24 hours. We all have the same 24 hours. All these highly successful people who have created massive amounts of success in their life, they have the same amount of time as you and I have. They don't have like 48 hours in a day. We all have 24 hours to our day. How we're using that 24 hours will ultimately determine the results and the outcomes that we get. It will ultimately determine the life that we create. So we got to make sure that we're using our time as effectively as we can. Hey, what do you got? You got 6 to 8 hours for sleep. So let's say an average person, 8 hours of sleep. What do you got? You got 16 hours left. 16 hours of the day left to do what you want. So where are you going to use this time? What are you going to use the 16 hours on? Are you going to be focused on creating time out of that 16 hours? Are you going to be focused on managing those 16 hours? Or are you just going to use those 16 hours? Right? 16 hours if you're sleeping 8 hours of sleep. So 24 hours, we all have the same amount of time. Those that are getting the life they desire and creating the success they desire and creating true financial freedom are using their 24 hours more effectively than those who are not. Bottom line. So 24 hours, 8 hours of sleep, you got 16 hours left in your day to do what you desire. How you're using the 16 hours will determine the results that you get. Then number three, we're talking high value activity. HVA, high value activity. This is one of my favorite things. One of my favorites right here, the high value activity. Because what we're using our time on will determine, as I've been saying, what we get the results and outcomes on. High value activity, what does that mean? Activities that are going to move us towards our goals and targets. Activities that are moving us forward, right? Anything and everything that does not move you towards your goals and targets should be either number one, limited in your life, or number two, completely removed from your life. When I created $700,000 of AP in 6 to 7 months of final expense business during 2020 COVID, when everyone was going crazy, everyone was freaking out because of some disease, some type of sickness that was out there, what was I doing? Number one, I was creating time. Number two, I was using my 24 hours very, very effectively. And number three, I had high value activity. The only thing I was doing was prospecting in the main other things in my life: sleep, eat, gym, read book, sales training, spend some time with the family, and that's it. You see, a lot of times people, as I said earlier, people are using their time on low value activity. They're spending their time instead of investing their time. And then they wonder why they don't have the income they desire. They don't have the physical body they desire. They don't have the life they desire. It's because they're not using their time as effectively as they possibly could. So time is one of the most important things, right? Time is money. Time is money. But as I said earlier, hey, we want to go from trading time for money to being able to trade money for time. How do we get to the point where we're able to trade money for time? It's by making sure that we're implementing these 5 steps on time that I'm sharing with you right now. So number 3 is high value activity. Things that are going to move you towards your goals and targets, things that are going to move you forward. Because hey, the only direction we should be going towards in life is forward. Anything that's moving us backwards, anything that's moving us to the left or to the right should be absolutely removed. Like no matter what. So making sure that our time is used as effectively as it possibly could. And then number four, speed, fast, speed. This is absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial. Many times people don't like to do things quickly. But the speed at which you do things will be the speed at which you get the results from what you're doing. Speed is the new big nowadays. It's not the the big that eat the small, it's the fast that eat the slow. So the speed at which you can do the things that you are doing is going to determine how effective you are with what you are doing. So speed is very important. You want to be quick. You want to be fast. Hey, you have an idea? Hey, bring that idea to fruition. Hey, you have a client that you need to call that client immediately. Because as we all know, the best time is now. And the only time is now. For the highly successful, they are focused on the present moment and right now. So if you have a client that you know you should be calling, call them right now. You have a follow-up that you need to make, follow up that client right now, right? You need to make a decision, make the decision right now. Move with speed. Because hey, the more time that you take to make a decision, to make the call, to call a client, to follow up with the client, the more time that you take to do those things is ultimately going to be you managing and using your time instead of creating time. Because when you're moving with speed, you're on the realm of like, hey, I'm creating time because I'm getting more done with the time that I have. Bottom line. So that's how you're going to create more time. That's how you're going to make sure that, hey, your 24 hours, you're using it as effectively as you can. And then also high value activity. When you're moving with speed, you're going to be doing high value activity, not low value activity. You're going to be doing high value activity on money generating activities, things that are moving you towards your goals and targets. So speed is very, very, very important when it comes to time. You're going to get more done with the time that you have. You're going to get more results with the time that you have. You're going to create time with the time that you're using. And ultimately, hey, you're going to move towards your goals and targets even quicker. And that's what we all want. We want to expedite the process. We want to move towards what we're moving towards even quicker. So we got the 5 valuable tips on time. Number 1, creating time. Number 2, 24 hours. Number 3, high value activity. And number 4, we got speed. Speed. Moving quickly, moving towards our goals and targets even quicker, getting things done even quicker. And this is what I talk about when it comes to adding more to the plate. You want more on your plate because the more that you add on your plate, it's like, hey, they say, give a task to a busy man and he's going to complete it quicker than anyone else. Because hey, when you have more on your plate, you are literally forced to execute. You are forced to accomplish what is on your plate. Because if you don't accomplish what's on your plate, it's going to keep stacking up, and then you're going to get behind. So add more to the plate. Add good pressure to the plate. I learned this 3 or 4 years ago at a growth conference. Jesse Itzler was talking about this. He's like, add good pressure to your life. You want pressure. You want to add good pressure in your life because it's going to have you executing at such a higher level. It's going to have you creating time. It's going to have you using your 24 hours as effectively as you could be. And it's going to have you focused on high value activity. When you clearly know what your goals and targets are, what your purposes are, what your reasons are, you have them clearly defined and they're very specific, you are going to know what you should be using your time towards. You're going to be more focused on like, wow, this is an asset or this is a liability. This is moving me towards my goals and targets. This is not moving me towards my goals and targets. And this is why it's so important to have your goals and targets clearly and specifically detailed out and why you should write them down every single day. So number 1, creating time. Number 2, 24 hours. Number 3, high value activity. Number 4, we're talking about speed. The speed at which you commit will determine your velocity. Speed alone is power. Speed is power. You got to get things done quicker. You got to commit quicker. You got to make decisions quicker. You got to make that call quicker. You got to get everywhere quicker. You got to do things even quicker. Stop procrastinating. The best time is now, right? So 5 valuable tips on time. Looks like I'm going blank on number 5. So hope this found you well, guys. Hope this found you well. Hope you guys can execute on this. Hey, number 5. Boom. Number 5 is time blocks. How could I even have forgotten this one? This This is going to be the game changer. This is going to be the game changer. Because when you have time blocks, you're going to be able to create more time. When you have time blocks, you're going to be able to use your 24 hours as effectively as you could. When you have time blocks, you're going to be putting forth high value activity. And when you have time blocks, you're going to be moving with massive amounts of speed. So time blocks are very important. Time blocks are super important. Hey, you can create 15-minute time blocks. You can create 30-minute time blocks. You can create 1-hour time blocks. So what are time blocks? It's like, hey, I'm going to block off an amount of time, whether it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 1 hour, 15 minutes to make calls. See how many calls you can get done within that time block. Set a target, set a goal within that 15-minute time block, and I guarantee you, you are going to get so much more done than you possibly humanly thought you could. You're going to create more time. You're going to be focused. You're going to be intentionally focused, as I was talking about earlier, and it's going to allow you to use the time that you have within these time blocks even more. So you set time blocks throughout your day, and this is what has helped me a lot, is like having a daily battle plan. What does my day consist of? What are the actions that I'm doing throughout my day? And how much time am I actually putting towards those actions in those time blocks throughout my day? So having these time blocks will ultimately allow you to get more done. It will allow you to, as I said, create more time. It will allow you to use your 24 hours more effectively. It's going to allow you to put forth high value activity, and it's going to allow you to be operating with speed. You're not even going to have time to evaluate because you're crunching time. You're like, man, I got 10 calls to make in 15 minutes. Boom. You're going to be ringing the phone. You're not going to put that phone down. You're going to be making call after call after call. And next thing you know, you get 20 calls done in 15 minutes. And now you're raising the bar. You're raising your set level of expectations of what you expect of yourself. So be so hard on yourself. There's no one else out there that's going to be more hard on yourself than you. No one's going to hold you as accountable in your life as you could hold yourself accountable. So setting these time blocks will ultimately allow you to create more time. It will allow you to make the most out of your 24 hours. It will allow you to put forth high value activity, and it's going to allow you to move with speed. So having these time blocks, absolutely key. This has helped me so much in my life, having these time blocks. And just, hey, setting out these time blocks, putting a goal or a specific target within those time blocks, and literally like shutting everything else out. Because what's going to happen is when you have these time blocks, when you have these goals and targets within these time blocks, you're going to be less distracted. You're going to be intentionally focused. You're going to get more done, and you're going to get more results. So, hey, 5 valuable tips on time. Number 1, creating time. Hey, we got 3 subcategories of time. 1, create time. 2, manage time. 3, use time. Which one are you going to pick? Hey, I'm picking number 1. I want to create time. I want to get more done with the time that I have. I want to be able to get more done within an hour time block than most people get done in 2-3 hours. I'm going to compress time. I'm going to attack the speed. I'm going to get so much more done so I can have so much more time to do what I want, to spend with loved ones, to have great experiences, to, multiply my day, right? Ultimately, it's all about multiplication. And then number 2, 24 hours. 24 hours. What are you using your time? We got high value activity. Number 3, high value activity. You're either moving towards your goals and targets or you're moving away from them. You're either creating more out of your time or you're not. You're either using your time towards assets or you're using it towards liabilities. So you got to be vitally aware and very consciously aware of like, man, what am I using my time towards? Is it high value activity or is it low value activity? Is it money generating activities or non-money generating activities, right? And then number 4, speed. The speed at which you can get things done will determine the speed at which you get the result and the outcome that you desire. Speed is a good thing. Remove from your mind the bad data and the bad information. First, you got to strip the information, then you can add the right information. Speed is a good thing. I'm telling you, folks, speed is the new big. The speed at which you commit will determine your velocity. Speed alone is power. So get more done. How are you going to get more done? How are you going to create more time? How are you going to use your 24 hours as effectively as you can? How are you going to have high value activity? It's by speed, by doing throughout your day, what you're doing within that 15, 30, or 1 hour time block. Set a specific goal, set a specific target, and make sure you never lower that goal or target. It's the last thing that you want to do. Many people, when they set goals or targets, when they're coming short of those goals or targets, what do? First thing they do, first instinct is, hey, they lower the goal or target. Instead of, hey, increasing the action and increasing the amount of persistency they're using to get that goal or target. Never lower the goal or target, only increase the action. So having those time blocks going to keep you, number one, it's going to keep you laser focused. It's going to keep your attention on the right things. It's going to allow you to limit distractions. It's going to allow you to move with more speed. It's going to allow you to create more time. And it's going to allow you to use your 24 hours as effectively as you can. And so, hey, 5 valuable tips on time. Hope this found you well. Please execute on it, apply it in your life. It's helped me tremendously. I want it to help you. Share this with other people. Comment below what you think. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up. Hey, I wish Facebook had thumbs down because I want to know if you didn't like this. Hey, comment below if you didn't like this. You guys have a great day. Talk to you soon.